everybody, welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home mic. The IIHF, yeah, I did it right. World Juniors, well underway. Or actually, right now, we've got Canada playing right now. Sebastian Cossa has saved 3 of the 4 shots he's faced so far. Woo! Bingo, bango. Tristan was aboard early in the comments. Before we even started, Mike, a half hour ago, Tristan threw in there. Oh, Mike, you're still muted. Sorry. I'm glad you
there I am.
You had to hold your breath the whole time. Tristan, we'll touch on this, but he threw in there, we picked the wrong goalie. Oh, Bubba. Oh, Bubba. Here we go. Here. Silver 33-44. I don't think so. Wallstedt's progression will be faster because of his SHL experience. Cossa will be better in time. Antonio, what's going on, my man? Chewy's aboard. Chewy. I've got a couple weeks left in Howell, man. Got the house sold while I was on vacation. It's a good story. Hey, Jared, coming in. Did you move yet? Nope. Still the blank canvas behind me as I prepare to move. Mike, I'll tell you, we don't banter a lot. We usually jump right into Red Wings stuff, but
it's very true.
I hope, you know what? Maybe my real estate agent does need to hear this.
You're going to get him on the horn right now.
We're on vacation. And he told us, like, all the complaints that he got at our open house. And we had to spend a whole, like, so when you're putting your house together, we pulled off the paint. They tell you, like, for you to sell your house, you should pull down paintings and obviously pictures of yourself because people want to, like, sort of paint their own pictures. So you leave furniture if it's nice and then blank walls. So I did that, except then I had a bunch of like holes on the wall. So I had to patch them up and paint over them. And the real estate agent comes in the day before we leave on vacation and says, "Ooh, that might be a problem." And we're just like, "Nah, it's fine. Nobody's going to care because they're going to paint the house however they want to paint it."
Yeah.
Have the open house. We're on vacation. And he decides to tell us, well, the number one complaint I got at the open house, and him kind of like connecting the dots as to like why we didn't get any offers. He's like, well, it was the paint in the living room. So I was like, great. It's all my fault. I got to spend my vacation now realizing that my house isn't going to sell because, I didn't use a paint roller. I just used a paintbrush. And then the next day we get 2 offers, one of which is well above asking, and we're done. But we had, because like the real estate agent wanted to have his moment where he was like, see, I warned you not to go on the market with this painted living room. And instead waited 1 day. Piece of garbage.
You know what, Matt? I know there's a lot of stress for you, but this was a classic Matt story where it was a 4-star Yelp review, not a 5-star, but you still ended up getting above asking price for the sale of your house. What a disappointment that vacation was before you sold your house and basically paid for your vacation with the sale. What a heartbreaking story that is.
My favorite part about our house selling is that there's another house around the corner that is asking for more than ours, but ours is a bigger house. So we came under their asking. They've been trying to sell their house for like a month. And now we still get to go on walks around the neighborhood. And they know it's us. Like, they saw that our house went up and we sold 3 days later.
Do you have shirts printed with that Remax sold sign that you can wear in front of them?
Ours was a Keller Williams agent. So
Keller, little K-Dub, huh? Nice.
Jared says this is now the new homeowners rant. I could go on rants for days about being a homeowner.
And while we're still bantering, Matt, every time we try to say goodbye to wrestling, it's just like The Godfather. They bring us back in.
Yep.
Whether it's bringing in the serial killer character Dexter Loomis, reintroducing Io Shirai Sky and Dakota Kai. I'm pumped to watch Monday Night Raw. There's real storylines. And here's a Jeopardy countdown for Jared as he waits for some hockey talk. Yeah. So Jared doesn't want a 5-minute wrestling bit. Okay.
Can we, you know what, Jared? I like this. Can we make this official? If we see it in the comments, we know it's time to move on. Eric Johnson is aboard, by the way. Hi, Eric.
What did Eric have to say?
Hi, guys.
Hey, I knew he did. I just wanted to hear you say it. All right. Thanks, Eric.
What's funny, we've never like spelled it out. So anybody that only listens to the podcast is just like, yeah, he said hi. Who gives a shit? Just move.
Move on. Yeah.
All right, Mike, titled the episode, Detroit Red Wings are attending the IIHF World Juniors. We had, I believe, the most juniors attending.
We do. Yep, 9 of them.
I stole that from a Twitter post, from some random Twitter post. But, Mike, you're confirming for me that somebody more legit.
We lead the league in World Junior prospects.
And it's one of those things. Like, I think we've made the comment before where it's like, is this the thing we want to lead the league in? But what's fun is like a Donovan Sebrango, right? And what he's doing right now.
I'll tell you what's fun.
Yeah.
I think they asked Yzerman about it. Like, wow, what do you think? You got like 9 prospects there. What's that like? And he's like, well, we have drafted a lot of players. So basically implying the odds are there'd be some Red Wings because of how many extra draft picks we've accrued over the past couple seasons. But always very self-effacing, humble, and a little tongue-in-cheek for Mr. Yzerman. He did not disappoint. So I appreciate that.
Well, yeah. So here's what I was going to say was like, I've been kind of on this side where it's like, all right, I kind of want to get past this. I want to stop having this celebration that we're doing so well prospect wise. But when it's this prospect, yeah, I said that right. When it's this many, Mike, you're talking about almost an entire draft full of talent that could fill out this. And we know that this is spread out at least over 3 drafts. Thing? Sure. Whatever.
Sure.
Who cares?
We'll go 3.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a whole draft of guys right there. Like if you landed, if you knew you were going to throw everybody that you drafted into a juniors roster, you'd be thrilled. But the other side of it, and Dan B thrown out there, Sebrango with an assist so far tonight. I think it was on a Connor Bedard goal. So Mike, a lot of chemistry being built between Sebrango and Connor Bedard. Anyway, but I like the Sebrangos being in there. I like the Red Savages because those and Carter Mazur, like those were guys that I felt like we were just telling ourselves like, yes, we should be excited about these prospects. But this is, I think, what do you want? The outside, is it affirmation? No. You want somebody, a third party on the outside to tell you that, yes, the guys that you drafted are good. And this is, it'll only really happen when they look at the Red Wings roster in a few years and they say Stanley Cup material. But in the meantime, these are these little nibs. These are like the little bites we get of like, okay, yes, we are doing the right things. Everything Steve Yzerman has done so far. Good choices. Even though, we led the show off with Tristan telling us maybe there's a bad choice mixed in there, which we'll talk about in a minute. But did I get that phrase right? What's the?
I don't think affirmation is that far off.
But you want like that outside
you just
perspective.
I think we get what you were trying to do instead
like
of just
tell you that you're cute, but what does that get you? Nothing.
Or I mean, like we're used to being in love with our prospects because they're ours. So, when it's somebody else telling you, yeah, actually you do have a cute baby. You're like, oh, thank God. Yeah. So exact same analogy, but I vaguely added sports to it.
Yeah. It's still appreciated.
It is.
I want to check out the stats here real quick. So Canada's playing right now against Latvia. And Cossa didn't have, I can't speak to his numbers in the first game. All I can speak to is how insane everybody went on Twitter for Kossa's first game running through this tournament. But Mike, we can now say, getting deeper into the second period, Cossa is almost sniffing 90% save percentage at the World Juniors. So it's getting better. Look, it's obviously not the most fun thing in the world to see like one of the goalies that you talk about over and over as like one of our future saviors, you don't want to see him struggle at all. You want to see him go into a junior tournament and just kick the walls in. Or I guess this as a goalie, you want to see him make a brick wall.
Cossa, he's just the victim of being on too good of a team. A goal got in, but I mean, he only faced 8 shots, so it's kind of Team Canada's fault that they're not letting more shots in, so we can pad those stats a little bit more and make that save percentage look better.
But yeah, Wallstedt so far, and this is what Tristan mentioned was with we picked the wrong goalie. Of course, Wallstedt was left on the board when we went with Cossa. He's only 91 save percentage, and Mike, he's got Simon Edvinsson in front of him, so clearly the best defense rolling right now in the World Juniors. But we can start doing this. Well, I was kind of hoping Sweden would be first here, but no, our Czech. Right, that's a Czech flag, right? I mean,
Czech flag
myself.
Yeah, that's a beautiful image, man.
Jan Bednar, first guy rolling through here. We've got 1 game played, 29 shots on goal. You know what? They didn't give me a save percentage. Rolling through, I can't really be too upset. I mean, right? It's 1 game in. Oh, I got to pull up the stat. I have it up here. One second.
Not all of these guys are Connor Bedard. So I will, I don't know what to tell you. Not a lot of production to talk about here, Matt.
So here's what you wouldn't want to be too upset about. 5 goals is I can't get this screen to pull up, but anyway, 5.
I mean, we're gonna go, Matt. I'm telling you, we're gonna go through like 4 of these, and I think maybe one of them is interesting. So I'm sorry, we don't have a lot of sizzle yet, but it's coming.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah. Moving on.
We did get a participation trophy award. Hey, here's a second participation trophy. Cool.
All right, so you're ready to go.
With all due respect, I mean, not a lot going. Red was on the ice. He did manage to get a goal. Pretty cool.
Carter gets an assist. I mean, come on, this is legit here. Come on, let's.
No, Red you're right.
He had a pretty good goal where it was all about him stuffing his face right in the net. It actually might be worth me sniffing around the internet and seeing if I can find it, because it was a goal where you're not going to point at it and say, see, this is the difference we're going to get. But if you're looking for a guy who's going to live the name of Red Savage, this is the type of goal you want to see go in. And you know what? One of these days, I'm going to get it to pull up. I guarantee it. But I'm doing a pretty good job telling this story. So I think you have a pretty good idea of what this replay is going to look like if I ever get it to come up on screen. There it is. Make sure there's no sound. I wonder if the IIHF is going to come after us if we have sound.
Only one way to find out?
Well, I muted it already. Okay. So that's our boy Red down in front of the net. And, who's to say that it wasn't just going to roll in anyway,
Hey, a lot of skill in that play. Come on.
Yeah. No, Red's making the right choice. And he even made the comments after the game. Like, this is where he sees his game. This is what he knows, like, his instinct is to just run and crash the net.
That's not a euphemism when he says that. He's literally crashing into the net for goals. So,
I mean, we could talk, too, like, one of the bonuses of seeing a goal like this go in. You can't really pretend that there's anything going on with this that isn't just like a hard-nosed play to the net. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you look at these guys with these high-skilled plays and you start to break it down, and the question you start to ask are can those plays be accomplished when you're facing NHL caliber defenses and goaltenders? You don't know, but we do know that Red, regardless of the skates in front of him, regardless of the bodies in front of him, is going to go face first right into the goalie to try and put a puck in the back of the net. Right?
A little reckless abandon. We talk about, we think we know what Yzerman fetishizes besides, tall, lanky defensemen. We also likes when men that hit each other. That's why he signed Ben Sherratt, and he's pretty giddy about the macho man Red Savage crashing into players to get a goal there. Yeah.
So who's your sexy slide? Is this your sexy slide?
Oh, I hope we got music queued up for this. Man, look at Edvinsson's hair.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. Oh, do you want me to cue up the music? We have music now, guys.
Hope it's just a saxophone solo. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's your Swedish Teddy Niederbach, William Wallinder, and Simon Edvinsson. 1 assist for Simon Edvinsson today. Another one for Teddy, who also, I think he got 5 minutes and maybe a game misconduct for almost killing a guy. And we got a +1 for William Wallinder.
Yeah, if you guys just want to bask and have a little little dance party here, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we get in trouble for that music, but it's available now.
You know what's funny is when you group these guys together, Breast is management soul and role as the president of WWE, Vince McMahon. But we always used to rib him in WWE because he always had a body type. You know, he always like the big muscles and big and tan. But now kind of putting all these Iserman draft picks together. Hey, wait a minute. You guys are all like 6'4" and kind of wavy, beautiful hair. What's going on, Steve? It's like, well, I got a type. You know, keep seeing them, and I keep picking them. So I don't know if there's anything to that theory, Matt, but Iserman definitely giving away his type here with these 3 gentlemen.
I wanted to see if I could bring up Connor Bedard's goal. I mean, yeah, we don't really need to pull that up. That was all
one cool thing before you zip away is they mentioned the clubs that these guys play for, like Frölunda, Rogel, and then Edvinsson. They just list them as Detroit Red Wings. Thought that was pretty cool. I mean, he's probably going to make it.
I think that's the difference between them having their contract signed and being,
I think it's a guarantee that he's making the roster in September.
Oh, you're saying that because that happened with the IIHF that he's guaranteed to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to pay attention to these things. Yeah, they give them away all the time, man.
Yeah, we're not reading into that. That's it's a sure thing. Let me pull. I just want to make sure. Yeah, so Connor Bedard pretty much just carries it over the blue line and snipes it from the blue line. So yeah, I mean, Sebrango, good for him, building chemistry, building that box score.
You know what? Sometimes just use the box score. Don't watch the tape.
Wow. But yeah, this is our next slides are pretty much us just confirming. Where is it? Oh, I did change those around. Just that Cossa was playing tonight, and then I didn't have any stats for Cossa yet. Only because their game's going right now. So, I mean, we're talking about it. All right, so Mike, let's talk about Cossa. Right? I think we can. Let me see if I can bring up what Kossa's at right now while we keep talking.
He's 6'6".
He's still at the 89% save percentage. Okay.
Mike, again, the fault of Team Canada for not giving in more shots. So.
And Jared throws out their lol random Canada flag. All the slides had the team the country flag.
We're trying to get better at our subliminal imagery here. So just like a little Canadian propaganda if you're paying attention. Okay.
Well, I wish that we already had a card for Sebrango because this mustache, holy mackerel. All right, so let's try and get this conversation going. I'm gonna try and get this picture up. This is quite the stash-a-rooney. Mike, how worried are you about Sebastian Cossa struggling one game? And then here we are today.
Are we counting
save percentage?
Yeah, he just doesn't get enough shots. This doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm pumped that he's invited. I'm not ready to give up on him for the Wallstead with a quick start. I would be more excited if the statistics were flip-flop, but I definitely not panic time. I think it's more tongue-in-cheek. Oh, we messed up time. So I think that our buddy Tristan is allowed to have his opinion, but I'm willing to give it more than these 2 weeks. And as for Sebrango, my God, that mustache. He's like, guys, I look old now, right?
I didn't realize he had red hair. I kind of wish his name was Red. There's got to be some relationship to be built from Red Savage, just the name, Sebrango, the red hair. And Mike, I did want to point out, Club Grand Rapids Griffins.
Hey, told
that's
you.
Where the contract is.
The hair does look like it helicoptered onto his head, though. He looks a little like a creative character in Cyberpunk. Yeah.
So I think it looks like helmet hair. I think it looks all squishied up, like he just got out of practice.
Yeah, they didn't give him time for a glamour shot.
Jared wants to know how that mustache is even allowed. Well, I'll remind you, this is the Canadian junior team. I don't know. What else is there to talk about? There's no panic from us in the Cossa conversation.
I don't know how you possibly could be.
Yeah. I think you were right. Maybe there's a little bit of joke in there from Tristan at the top of the show.
He's definitely kidding. Hopefully.
But that comes to like what's the overall feeling that I think we should all have watching this. I think these tournaments, these junior tournaments, we need to stop taking so much away from them. Because we've had guys that are completely written off like the face of the earth because they struggle for a little bit in one area or another. And then like you look at the Finnish team over the last couple of years, they have a couple of guys that have been highlighted as like struggling, right? Like they struggled with their own home league, and then they come to this junior tournament, and just like the last junior tournament they were involved in, they're doing pretty good. And I'm talking about Atu Ratu from 2 years ago, the draft, and Mike, our boy, this year that I'm struggling to think of his name, but we both said we wanted to pick him in the first round. I can't believe I'm doing this to myself. Let me. I know. I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have said it. Let me pull him up so everybody knows who I'm talking about.
Can I ask the people what they think of this? Like these kind of tournaments? Like I feel like it transcends every single sport. Like the Tigers will have these guys in Latin ball hitting, 800 with 9 home runs, and then we bring them to MLB and they, can barely play defense to stay on the field.
Brad Lambert. There we go.
Jeez. The Lions will have like a crazy practice, and then they're 3-14 again. The Pistons will have guys blowing it up in summer league, and then now they're unemployed. I don't know. Is it just kind of the entertainment value to see these young guys play, just kind of for the obsessives, for like the super duper hockey nerds? Because all it is for me is it's reps, and they're televised reps, kind of. So then I get to see what young guys look like against other young guys. But I guess there's just the entertainment value in it. I don't know if there's really anything to glean from any of the statistics in the games. You know what I mean? It's so easy to spin the narrative about, he only got like 3 shifts. Cossa, his save percentage was 88, but he faced 9 shots in a 3-period hockey game. So I don't know what to tell you.
I guess to kind of jump on that point, Brad Lambert was the name I couldn't remember, and Atu Ratu. So we're talking about 2 Finnish guys that dropped in the draft. Ratu.
Those are 2 Red Wings Rant Hall of Famers. Yeah.
Yep, 2 guys we had pegged for pretty much an entire year, and we probably could have had them both. Ratu walks away with the 4 points in his one game, and then Brad just has the 1 goal. But then going back to your point, and kind of where I was stuffing this was, how much do we really want to take away from this? Because we just had a ton of people tell us, and that means NHL executives, scouts, just other podcasts, other guys, other doofuses like us with opinions, all telling us that, we don't have to worry about not getting Atu Ratu and Brad Lambert. So when they do well, do you have to get too excited about it? Do you have to kind of, kick your foot in the ground or get mad about a Cossa draft? No, I think calling it reps is a great point. I think it's the talent level for this age group, right, is through the roof. But we're also talking about this age group where so many things could happen and guys are still growing. And you could have somebody that's going to be an absolute garbage player mentally do well because he's facing guys that haven't learned enough. And once he catches up to guys that know better, It won't do as great. So, yeah, I think it's fun that we have so many guys at this age group that are ranked high enough that they're going to make this team. And besides that, I think it's just going to be fun if we see some fun plays. But I don't want to take too much away from this. I don't want to get too mad at Sebastian Cossa. I don't want to get like I want to applaud Red, Sebrango, Mazur getting on the team. And then I want to have fun as I watch this tournament. And then I just kind of want to turn off. I want to not judge everything that happens. Except for like that I still come back to that Red Savage goal. Like if we find Red has a goal on his box score, and then he did some sort of dipsy doodle around the defense to put it in the back of the net. That's fine. He's playing kids. But you see a guy go face first into the goalie, possibly take one in the teeth. Like that's something you can say, okay, any level, you can make that choice. You can go in there. So that is something I'll lend a little bit more of a conversation to like from choice wise and ability wise, or who is the guy as a player. We can have those conversations, but just straight up, like, how did somebody do based on goals and assists and pucks in the back of the net? I don't know. Like, let's celebrate, like Connor Bedard. He's going to end up with a ton of points here, right? Like, that'll be fun to watch, but I'm not going to, we don't need to see the guy who kind of is middling and get all excited about, almost a point per game. I think that's like the.
You know what I'll say too is like ESPN's getting better with like I know they've had web gems for a while, but trying to find a way to like showcase something that's not just a home run, because a home run highlight is just really weird. You just watch a guy swing really hard and then the ball just kind of disappears off the TV. So it's kind of like, oh, that's the good thing for that team. So I guess when we watch Red Savage got the goal. Who got the assist? Was it Sebrango? And he got what we would call.
Yes. Sebrango off the Bedard goal, right?
Yeah, he got his assist. And it's like, technically he got an assist.
Right.
And Red Savage, technically he got a goal, but it just went off his face. Maybe the fault is not so much like, are these real highlights? Is maybe they aren't showcasing it like they should, and they could do a better job of kind of doing more of a prospect profile with those videos, which we can't do because we don't have the license permission of the IIHF to shoot footage. But there's got to be those those heavy gritty plays that Savage is getting, like contributing before the goal goes in. Like maybe 30 seconds prior. Same thing with Sebrango. He's still got to have made the play to get to the point where he gets a technically assist. So I would say that would be something maybe a little more in-depth and a little more time-consuming, but would ultimately, for us, be a little bit more of an indicator than seeing, looks like he's on the stat sheet, so in the video game, his overall would go up. I think what you want is, to see those actual plays that make you feel like, oh, okay, now I can see where this guy would show up in the NHL and contribute, rather than him, getting a pass to far and away the best player on the ice, or a guy just kind of being there for a car crash. Maybe it's just kind of refocusing how they do those highlight packages.
Now, Michigan UP, what's going on, Mish? I've decided that I'm not talking or thinking about Cossa for another 3 years.
Fair.
Yeah. That's a good way to go about it. What did we say?
That's a very pragmatic way to think about it. I like it.
Didn't we? I mean, we put the 3 to 5 year mark on him as you would with any goaltender you draft. So I'm very comfortable with that number.
Yeah, we like 26-year-old rookies. No problem.
Now, Silver 3344 coming in with the more important conversation here. Slaggert from USA gives Sebrango a run for his money.
Stash off.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm looking at it. I'm looking at Slaggert right now. I gotta say, I'm still leaning Sebrango. Now it might be there's a little bit of homer in there, but this is kind of patchy. There's some patchy. Like this is me trying to grow something out. Like it's better than mine, but it's patchy. I want to say it.
I can't say a lot about patchy facial hair because I basically just grow like cat whiskers. So I know whether or not I fit in a doorway. So it's usually just a lot of envy.
But that Sebrango mustache was bushy and thick.
Yes. If this is the only photo we have to go on, yeah, Sebrango wins that one.
I mean, we are talking full beard here with Slaggert, but I'm still leaning Sebrango on that. And we did get, I love this, Henrik. In Sweden, we call that a mopemush, a moped stash, is what he guesses is the best translation. Now, Henrik, I'm sorry I butchered that pronunciation, probably, but I love a mopemush.
Yeah, that
maybe
sounds
I put
like
a little too much stank on it when I said it, but
yeah, that's got like a Muppet word written all over it. I love that.
Jared's going to start using that. Dan B coming in on the Ratu conversation. Bushnikov, better than Ratu. And I'm all about this conversation. I'm just saying, like, I think what I was trying to do was even out, like, if we're going to sit here and say Cossa, we don't want to panic about that. Then we also don't want to get too excited. Like, I don't want to turn around and say, see, we should have drafted Atu Ratu because he had 4 points. Like, we need to pull back on both sides. So, Dan B, I'm all about that. Ketzel arriving a little bit late, and I'm late to responding to this.
Hey, Ketzel.
Ketzel, how you doing, my man? Chewy thrown out there. He had a stash once. He didn't care for it. Beard is better. I mean, I made the choice. I've had moments on this podcast where I have had a bushier beard, but I was told that I look better if I just cut it real close. The beard, the stash, everything. So
yeah, it's a brilliant scam on our part. It's like makeup for men. It's a really good idea. But unfortunately, I couldn't really grow anything here or here. I would just kind of grow. I had my little kitty cat Crosby mustache. I also kind of look like an evil like train conductor, so it didn't really work for me. I had to say goodbye.
Ketzel, Cosa's still a baby too. I'm not even really evaluating him for another few years. Tendies have the slowest growth. Not chicken tendies, gold tendies. Just to remind everybody. And I got to call this out too. Ketzel asking the YouTube chat, how's everyone doing in this dry time for hockey news? Honestly, this is such a stretch for us to turn this into a full episode. We pulled up the stats of every guy that's played so far. And yeah, I'm struggling. Silver's struggling. Jared, 20 of us are watching 2 dudes from Michigan ramble. Yep, that's about as accurate as it gets.
That's about all we. It's all we have is each other, Jared.
So. It's a nice little oof. All right, Ace Fishing coming in with the transition. Walman, 1 way, 1 year, 1.05 million. Anyone else seen it? Yeah, we got it.
Yep, that bad boy is confirmed.
All right, so that happened. I don't know. Here's the difference here. Steve wanted to do a less than, I think he was trying to do minimum. Actually, this is in like the $750K and a 2-way contract. So Jake gets his way, and he will be put on waivers if there's any changes that need to be made with Jake sticking on the team. So there's that little ditty that's mixed in there. So that's kind of a fun piece of the conversation, but also this team will not live and die with Jake Walman. I think it's just one of those, we knew we struggled on the left side, and Steve at the end of the season was picking up as many left side defensemen as he could. And we'll see what happens with Jake. This is, I don't know. I don't want to call it a win-win, but there's no losing in this situation.
I mean, he's roughly an 80th of the cap space, so I think we're going to be okay. I think we can worm in an 80th of the cap for Walman. I just saw some you
guys read
thoughts.
That actually is pretty fuzzy. I should probably just pull up the cap-friendly page.
Yeah. Does this mean the Red Wings are going to be carrying 8 defensemen? That's what I was reading.
Suppose so. Makes sense for what we're looking at roster-wise.
Yeah, it was basically with that signing, like the expendables would be like, oh, did we lose the image? There we go.
I got it. Same one.
Where's my guy at? They said the expendables would be like Giovanni Smith and Adam Ernie because they'd have to clear waivers, but I don't know if people are really scrambling to pick those guys up. Maybe Giovanni just to give him a run. Can you do one scroll down?
Yeah.
Give me one more scroll if you can. Maybe you didn't.
How far do you want to go? Do you want to go see the non-roster players?
There we go. Yeah, they said that the easy move would probably be Veleno, but ideally you'd want him to be good enough to make the team. So hopefully he has a good summer leading into the fall and a good Traverse City run. But got to kind of see how that plays out.
Ace thrown out there. I don't think Walman's going to fit. It sounds like they were pushing for Hronek to be on that second line. Well, then I think we're talking, right? We're talking different sides of the ice here. So this is up, right? So yeah, you're talking Hronek on the right side, Walman on the left side, and I'm picturing Walman on the third pairing, if not a seventh or eighth Ds, as Mike threw out there that they're looking to do 8 D men. So I think he fits that if they're going to be doing 8 defensemen. I don't know. So your left siders, you got Ben Sherratt, Olli Maatta, Jordan Osterley, and Jake Walman. Those are your left side defensemen. If I am playing the game right now,
and Edvinsson, right?
Oh yeah, we got to throw an Edvinsson in there.
Yep.
If I'm playing the game right now, your 3 that are starting opening night, I think, gosh, do we do it? We just throw in Edvinsson, like no questions asked. So we do Ben Sherratt, Olli Maatta, Simon Edvinsson. So your extra defenseman, I'm going to go Walman over Osterley easily. And if you're going 8, it's a whole different conversation. But then on the right side there, Seider's going to be first pairing. I'm putting Hronek on the second pairing, and then we go through the right side defenseman.
A little Lindstrom, or do you want my favorite kitty cat sound?
I'm going. I mean, if I'm picking Lindstrom, and then if we go down to our non-roster boys, wow,
not a lot of righties. I think just Tristan's boy Newpower is in there.
Yep, and that's not the most exciting thing in the world.
Yep. We got to get Sebrango to play on the other side.
I think we're settled on the right side. I think we have a lot of options here too if things aren't working out going through training camp with a couple of these guys. So I'm cool with this. I think right now everything's fine, and I do think Jake is set up to make this team, and of course be some depth if anybody's going down. Now, Mike, this means we have one guy left to be signed. Ah! All right, I just blew up. Sorry for anybody listening to the podcast and wasn't ready for that. I was trying to highlight Philip Zadina and be all dramatic, and then I highlighted every player on the team.
That's okay. Matt, arbitration season is over. Yeah. So there's one man with no name and no money on it.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing Steve has to worry about now that we're through the arbitration season is the Philip Zadina season. What do we do? Do we panic? Do we worry? Is he definitely being traded?
Was it?
So. I'll go first. I think this is a contract that gets finished off, like, if not right before training camp, the week before. I think he's fine.
I mean, he's 22. Lest we forget, a highly touted, prospect. So I mean, he's right about it that, now I get it year of his career. He starts to put it together a little bit. We're gonna kid ourselves a little bit and pretend that Rasmussen hit that after his last hot month of last season, and hopefully that projects over the full year. But yeah, I mean, Zadina's, he's still a young guy at 22. And And based on the projections and what his WAR was, he's probably looking at, again, probably an 80th of the cap, which I think we can definitely stomach and still have room for some weirdly sexy acquisition with like 8 million, I think, unavailable cap space after that.
Do you think, let me ask, what's more likely here? Yzerman was getting the more pressing matters settled, considering arbitration was around the corner for Jake?
No, when you do your chores,
like
when you do your chores, I think you do all the easy stuff first, and now he's at the hard one.
Okay. And I'm the opposite. I will do the hard one first, and then have just easy stuff waiting for me. So I feel like it was crunch time, right? Like you don't want to sit in an arbitration hearing. You want to skip that. You got to get that stuff done. So Filip Zadina, back away forever. I have all the chips in this conversation, right? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna say? Oh, my 6 goals last year. You got to give me 8 million. Ha! No way. So you have all of the bargaining chips. You have everything here. Like there's no threat that Zadina could come up with that's not gonna make Yzerman belly laugh out of the room. So he's got all the time in the world on this. I was gonna say, that it was a combination between getting Walman done because he wanted to avoid doing the arbitration meeting, or hearing, and also he probably threw a number at Zadina, and he just sat back, and now he's just waiting. And Zadina is hoping he can wait out Steve Yzerman on a roster that really, could hit the ice today without Filip.
He's weirdly, I feel like, going to have contracts like almost like LeBron James, where he's just going to want to sign 1 year at a time to kind of do prove it deals, to be like, okay, all right, finally got a 20 goal season. All right, now I'm ready to cash in. Because I don't think he wants to do 2 years, or I definitely doesn't want to do 3 years, right? Because he's going to be getting lowballed because of statistically he hasn't really done anything yet. It's all a bunch of, peripherally he should be getting X amount of goals. It just hasn't come to fruition yet. So I would think that he wants a little job security at 2 years, but I mean, if he wants to really bank, I got to think that he just wants a 1 year deal to kind of prove, all right, now this is the year I'm going to put it all together. But there's no way Steve's offering this guy a 3 year deal.
I like that. I mean, it's still kind of the same. Like, I feel like we're in the same conversation where it's like Steve threw something at Zadina, and Zadina's just hoping that something will go closer in his direction if he waits him out. But yeah, again, I think all the chips are in Steve's corner, so he just gets to wait out Zadina until he's ready to sign. Now, there were a couple of things I missed in the chat here. I got to throw out Eric Johnson reminding us that Walman is on IR to start the season. So that contract is taken care of, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Eric, by the way. Now, I can't remember what you said about Giovanni Smith, but Jared responded with Giovanni does not deserve that. This was
that's not about whether or not you deserve it or not. It's just he might be, on the depth chart, the 13th or 14th forward, and if Veleno is playing really well, I would rather see him up there than Giovanni, who I kind of feel like we have a pretty good idea of what he's going to be bringing. It's going to be grit and toughness. I don't know if it's going to really be point production. It doesn't appear to be something he's developed yet, where we can kind of see glimpses with Veleno. So I mean, if that's the choice, the goal is to win hockey games, not just be the grittiest team. So it's nice to have these tough decisions, right? So I don't know if it's about deserve. It's about what gets earned. So I just feel like so far Veleno's, probably earned more of a role so far. It's just, I know that on the old cap sheet, it's a lot easier to move Veleno back and forth with Giovanni, where you can't. You would have to clear waivers, but yeah.
Getzel thrown out there. Pissick dead for 6 months. He'll be on LTIR. Now, why isn't Cap Friendly updating us for us? I'd like to know. I'd like to know that.
Yeah, the easiest thing about making these decisions where like, hey, we actually have a little bit of depth now. It's also because so many guys get hurt all the time, and we're still mucking around in the COVID swamp. So I think it's going to be pretty easy for us to see a lot of these guys lower on the depth chart getting a shot.
All right, Mike, quick. Who says no? Jared Shaw, Philip Zadina to New York Islanders for Matt Barzal. Straight up. Come on.
I don't know why Steve would say no to that. I don't know why Steve would say no. Come
on. Yeah, this would be. I'm pretty sure at this. We know Jared enough. That was probably him making fun of Twitter for throwing out every trade possibility that was out there at the time for Matt Barzal. Like all the Tyler Bertuzzi stuff. That's Jared. I'm hoping that that's what you're doing. Chewy throws out there. I'd go for that.
Yeah. No, I mean it would include, a Red Wing first round pick, which is right now in a unique place, right, where it's not a guaranteed top of the lottery. But we don't quite feel like this is a playoff team yet. So you're right in that flounder position. Is it better to draft a guy who's 10th or 11th? Or, maybe make a move with them and include a Zadina contract for $9.
Dan B thrown out there. All the Zadina talk makes me miss Quinn Hughes. Aw. I mean, I hope you don't miss him. That's like me missing Britney Spears when I had a crush on her. And like, I had no chance. It's gone. It didn't happen. It's, you know what I mean? Like, there was a chance, right? But do you miss Wallstat? You miss the prospect of getting them. That's what I don't know why I'm giving you a hard time, Dan. Where was Silver 3344? He was Zadina was offered $850K 1 year, wow, 2-way, and he just hasn't signed. 2-way contract. What a kick in the nuts for Zadina.
Is Zadina a win for him? Hey, Murdoch. Can you go back to that real quick for Silver?
Oh, yeah.
I got to think there's no way that guy's really getting like a raise. So I feel like the one thing he's waiting for is like, bro, come on, not a 2-way. Not a 2-way. That's got to be the breaking point where he's not signed yet.
Eric correcting us. Mike, not the 6 goals. That's
he almost doubled it. Yeah.
So he has 1 bargaining chip. He got into double digits. The other 50 bargaining chips, 49 still in possession. No, Dad throws out there. Quinn was taken at number 7 after Zadina. I'm just saying, like, you never had Quinn. There was always that prospect, but we never had him. You can't miss him. It's still,
I miss him.
There was a possibility I could have one day gone out with Britney Spears, but it's just a lot of choices that had to go in a different direction for that to happen.
A lot of bad choices by Britney Spears to make that to happen. Holy mackerel. But yeah, I don't know if we've exhausted our topics yet, but yeah, that's Zadina one. Is he signed before Traverse City, man?
Well, my prediction before, I want to land on that prediction I made before, that he will sign the day it starts, the day we get into training camp.
So he wants to have some breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he dealt before next season?
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to ask, is he dealt before the season? Like, I was like, wait, we just covered.
Signed you, traded you. Goodbye.
I mean, that does happen, but.
Yeah.
No. But
I don't think.
Not for lack of trying. Does that make sense?
It's not like he's the only guy in the league who's not playing up to his draft position. But his value is so low right now. I don't foresee a trade.
Yeah, like what are you willing to get back? That's right. That makes sense. That another team is going to say, well, I mean, this is where I kind of see him trending, so I'll give you this kind of, and I guess I'm trying to sell what this would be with my negative attitude, but why not just see if we can get this to work out on our side. And if it looks like he is trending negatively and you can't really get anything to make out, like, I guess you can try to even out what's coming back your way. I don't want to say it's evened out because we picked up like 3 pieces of garbage, and it's like, well, you are giving us the best piece of garbage, so here's our 3 pieces. Like, I want to get like an equivalent at like another position, and just let me see if I can fill out the roster with, here's who was a first round pick. Give me someone who might not be trending at any point towards superstar, but could fill out a roster and do their job. Maybe take up some penalty kill minutes or something like that. Part of that conversation. And then you get this great shot. You get Zadina's great shot. So I just don't foresee that. I don't see that trade happening, I guess, but for all I know, it's going to happen tomorrow, and I'll look like an ass. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. This has been one hell of an episode where I feel like from the start we've had nothing to talk about, and it continues. I do have to throw out there, Mike, that the action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially this summer. With tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports, you can fuel your fandom and feel the heat. Seasons like never before. Plus, right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all major action for baseball, golf, MMA, and more. Plus, with the same game, parlays, spreads, money lines, under and over-unders, and props, your betting options feel endless. I'm sure there's probably some IIHF games that we could put some money down on, Mike. Probably just look at Canada and just keep dropping some dough. Mike, DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code THPN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. I was going to say see DraftKings for details, but no, see the show notes. All right. Eric's out of here. Eric, have a good one.
Bye, guys.
It does. This is a slow week, right? I mean, we're stretching.
I mean, they happen sometimes. Yeah. No big deal.
So hopefully we get something. We basically told you guys, here's an episode about Red Wings at the IIHF. I really struggle with doing those 2 I's, by the way. And then we also ended that conversation by saying, hey, none of this matters. Or most of it doesn't matter. Not none of it. Most of it doesn't matter. So, yeah, we're having a good time talking out of both sides of our mouth. Cossa did let in another goal as we wrap up here.
Still not his fault. Still has not seen enough shots.
I want to see how many shots he has faced.
Unless it's 10, then we're probably in trouble.
It's this is confusing. All right, so it says they got another goal. He's still at 89% save percentage. So yeah. All right, here's a good question for you, Mike. Slow hockey week. You guys looking forward to Clash at the Castle?
Ooh, Drew McIntyre and Roman action, huh?
I gotta say, I have been following along with wrestling, and Mike can answer this question better, but I've been following along on Instagram because Vince leaving, my ears perked. They perked up. And everything I've been seeing, I still haven't gone back. I still haven't watched a full episode of Raw or SmackDown or any pay-per-view. But everything looks like it's really cool right now. It looks like it was like the show I've always wanted. So,
yeah, I mean, it's built on one match. It's just about getting Drew kind of coming home, to fight Roman. But I'm really excited to see what they do with the women because it's supposed to be the EST, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa versus their new friends Io and Dakota. And Bailey had a awesome promo where she just tripped up a little bit and said, "Yeah, me and Dakota Sky." And then everyone started laughing. And she's like, "Yeah, idiots. I know I messed up. Shut up." and she just took it with aplomb and kept rolling. And she was like a perfect good guy, and now she's an even better bad guy. So really excited to see that. I'm excited to see a 3-on-3 match at a pay-per-view. A match just, maybe 2 weeks ago. You couldn't pay me to watch it on Monday Night Raw. Now I'm excited to see a women's 3-on-3 match just because I know Triple H is at the helm. And he's going to be taking care of 2 women whose careers I was very excited about, and they kind of petered out because of people on top. So yes, I am excited, Murdoch, to see a couple matches here.
Dan B throwing out there 10 shots, 8 saves. So he's down to 80.
Let's see if we can get up to 40. Come on, baby.
All right, now here's the interesting one. Mike, Tristan says, mark my words, we get 4 30-plus goal scorers this year. Let's do this, right?
All right, I'll take one. Larks.
Okay, I like this. Verana.
Damn it. All right, I'm out. No. Give me Uncle Bert.
Okay. We need one more. I mean,
Are you going to the kid?
Raymond, right?
Not Perron?
Nah.
Not Ben Sherratt, huh? With the career year, huh?
No. Thanks. Thanks for the offer.
What about Sedina, huh? Ooh.
Oh man. All right, let's do this. Mike, are we going to break through the top half of the league on the power play? Now that we have 2 power plays, we've got Perron going in there.
I think if we had one more defenseman, we would.
That's true. We did. We missed out on the Klingberg conversation where I got a very Steve Yzerman contract, and I was super bummed.
Yeah, that was right up our alley because it was just the 1 year, right?
Yeah. What was that, $7 million? I think.
It fit perfectly. I would be shocked if Yzerman didn't just be like, nah. Like if Yzerman, very quiet, calm, professional, just said, fuck it, and put in a 7-year. There's, it almost makes me think, why wouldn't he come here, play with Steve, or play for Steve, but missed it. All right. So I got to think that's what we're saving that $8 million for. But yeah,
Tristan's got Verana, Raymond, Larkin, and Kubelik. All right.
Well,
I don't hate it.
That's a lot from Raymond. My God, 2nd year in the league. Whew.
Yeah, you almost think of it like, the last week you're seeing like Larkin and Raymond and maybe Kubelik are at 29 goals, and they've all got to have a big one last big game together. Silver thrown in there, man. This is one hell of a hot take episode now.
And throw in your wrestling takes, too, if you're excited for Clash at the Castle. Go ahead.
Well, you got another one, Mike. Curtis throws out there, speaking of wrestling, AEW is dying without Punk or MJF.
Oh, man. Curtis, you're going to open up that can? I can't decide if I can't decide if MJF is actually deciding to go to WWE or if he's doing the greatest work in wrestling history by just not appearing after doing a pipe bomb promo. He has not made one television appearance, not one tweet since that amazing promo.
I will come back and say I'm not watching either, but when it comes to my following on Instagram, there's one that's impressing me right now, and one of them just kind of feels like they're going through the motions. And I'd be in agreement with Curtis. Tristan, I'm telling you guys, severely worried about Cossa. Yeah, he's big. Yeah, he's athletic. But stopping pucks isn't all about size and athleticism.
I know, Tristan. All the scouting reports for him really bummed me out because they were talking about, like, his body is so long. Like, even if he does have great reflexes, he's still got to move, really long legs into position to make saves. But again, this is one game. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and we should come in there too. Dan B threw out there. Sorry, 20 shots, 2 goals. So that's a hell of a difference. Yeah,
20 more shots. We can make it respectable. Woo! Here we go.
That I will say, as much as we spent part of this episode talking about like how much this doesn't matter, those 10 shots do matter. That scared me. I was kind of like, we got to get back into this conversation about how worried we should be.
We got to completely restructure our team to only give about 8 shots a game.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, and the website actually for the World Juniors still says he's only faced 9 shots. So this is just all over the place. Tristan, I would just say I'm not ready to make a decision, right? Like that's where we need to be right now. We're not ready to move anybody. But you know what? With that being said, I think Tristan already threw out there. Lucas Dotson is a prospect. I do a 1-for-1 right now in exchange for Cossa. I don't think anybody needs to make these moves yet. We're okay. There was something there. And if we're ready to play there, there's something there that wasn't there before.
I knew that was coming.
From a negative sense.
Yeah.
Like Tristan's kind of on that boat. Like the fear now lives within Tristan. But I just think, right, we're just at a point right now where we don't need to. I don't want to hit the panic button on anybody. And there's nobody either. Like this might be a kind of a boring season because, oh man, I'm definitely going to be on
Can
the
I ask Tristan,
team.
If you're giving up on Cossa, how many years ago did you trade Zadina?
I mean, that's interesting. The difference there for me, if I could, we might not get an answer from Tristan, but the difference there for me is the position too. Like we know goalies do take a little bit longer. So Chewy's 4 30-goal scorers, Larks, Verana, Bert, and then he throws in Perron or Raymond, which I think we kind of had that conversation too. Ace fishing on Kubalik. I was going to say earlier too, there might be with like the Kubalik, Perron conversation, and then there's, Bert and Raymond, right? So we're all settled, like Larks and Verana, no problem. I think it's going to depend on how these power plays are set up, right? Like who's going to be in position to take the shot? Who's going to be in position to kind of clean up some of the garbage? Who's going to get a better role? Who's going to be the setup man? And that might be the difference. And again, that's me going back to, Silver 34 saying this is a hot take episode. Because then I said, can we get above the 50% line? Can we get in the top half of the league of power plays this year? That's me kind of checking that box. Like, yep, we'll do that. And all of these goals are coming from.
Well, I'll say I think there's kind of a consensus of, Larkin, Raymond, Bertuzzi, Perron, Verana. I think if this team actually is like, oh my God, we're actually like on the verge of being in the playoffs, it's if we get like a 20-goal season out of somebody like Puce or somebody like Zadina or Ernie, like, he opens that he's not just a flash in the pan, that he has, another season in him. Or my God, what if we get a 20-goal season out of Rasmussen? Because I mean, you could talk about depth all day. About we could ice 2 teams. Yeah, but I want to see them get some goals. So I think that if that next tier, I don't need Rasmussen to get 40 goals and 80 points. Be nice, but I mean, if that could be a guy that it's not just 1 month of 1 year of his career, and he can be a little bit more consistent, he could put 20 goals in, or Zadina, at the old age of 22 can finally figure it out, and put 20 goals in. Or Puce, my God, what if he plays like an actual second line center? So when he's at the third line, you're like, wow, this is a really good team. That next tier, I think, is the difference.
That's another name. Like we talk about Robbie Fabry and how I forget about him all the time.
Oh, Robbie Fabry. Yeah, there's another one.
Tristan throws out there to your Zadina question. He's useful in different spots in the lineup. Goalies, you have 2, and they both have to be good. I guess, yeah. So you can just keep downgrading, and this, I'm going to say downgrading in terms of like you draft a guy in the in the top 10, you're kind of hoping you're getting a top 6 forward, and then you downgrade him to middle 6, and then he's bottom 6, and then he's fourth liner. So you can keep downgrading Zadina, and goalies, you're not going to like, well, this is my backup goalie. So to Tristan's point, you gotta make your decisions quick. I just would rather, and I guess what Tristan, I think what you were talking about, I think you want to make sure that we're still keeping goalie prospects. So what? So that, like, that, to my point, I want to keep as many goalie prospects as possible. So hopefully you do land on something close to your Vasilevsky from the point of view of like, now you have your franchise goaltender. Again, I think I've said in the last few episodes, I think Vasilevsky is easily on my Mount Rushmore of goaltenders all time. So it's pretty tough to get on the Mount Rushmore, I guess is what I'm saying there. But yeah, like you want to have as many opportunities or chances with some of these young guys to like accidentally run into, here's your guy. Tristan, my point is Cossa becomes a 5-time Bednar winner or never sees 20 games in the NHL. I know. I feel like that's too black and white.
I know what you're going for. I just
will become. There it is. All right. There's a correction there.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. No, I don't think it's going to necessarily be that polarizing. We'll give it time. I'm still going to trust the guy who pulled Mo Seider out of his butt, and managed to find, maybe one of the best defensemen in the league. He must have seen something in Cossa, so I'm willing to be patient.
Yeah, I think there's something to that too.
Like, and he had the balls to offer Zadina a 2-way contract. Woo! Man, what a hit in the nuts. But go ahead, man.
But yeah, there's something to that, like going out of your way to pick up a Cossa, like trading up, and you had a Wallstedt right there, and you said, nope, my boy's Cossa. To me, there's something there. And we also know, like, the Red Wings have no problem picking up Swedish guys. They have a ton of guys in that area that can speak to every single player coming out of, I don't know, I'll just say, just coming out of those leagues, coming out of Sweden itself. So I'm not saying, like, Wallstedt's going to be bad. I think I'm just saying that there's so much there to keep telling us, like, we don't have to make a move yet. And there's something, I think Silver said it. Yeah. I agree on Zadina. Makes no sense to try a 1-for-1 change of scenery trade just yet. And that's where I was kind of coming to this point where I was like, I'm going to be the wait and see guy this year. There isn't anybody I'm like, I need to push out of here because contracts are going to expire. We'll keep just getting guys off the roster because time. But then, there are still contracts like you've got Robbie Fabry on here. I forget that he's on the team and this contract. How deep is this? Is this 4 years?
But I will say
3 years.
How about this with Zadina? The reason I'm not willing to kind of give up on him yet is if one of my favorite local picks was when the Pistons picked Mateen Cleaves from the Michigan State Spartans, and you picked him because they won a national championship, and he was the point guard of that team. It's a horrible pick, awful. He had a broken jump shot. He couldn't hit threes. He couldn't hit twos. He couldn't really defend anybody. He was too little. Very quickly out of the league. So it felt like a busted pick. Zadina is not in that realm at all. Like you can tell that he's just, the right coaching guru. And, maybe my buddy Uncle Fester here under, his first season under the helm. Maybe it's somebody like him, like a new way to approach the game is what's going to turn him around. It's a lot. I'm going to use another basketball analogy just because it's local and Pistons, but it's like Killian Hayes, Pistons giving up on him when he was their, lottery pick 2 years ago. That'd be madness. You can see the flashes where he's got the skills, just like Zadina. There's certain spots where he's got really good skills. I think we're still able to cling to his brief at this juncture chemistry with Verana. and be like, all right, we know there's something there. We just don't have the goals yet, which is so frustrating. But again, this is a 22-year-old kid. This is not, a 28, 29-year-old guy, long in the tooth, career minor leaguer. He's just a guy, he just needs a little tweak to kind of figure it out. So yeah, I keep rehashing the same point, but yeah, the best thing for all parties is for him to do a short contract with the Wings and finally prove it.
I like what Dan B had here. It's we can't forget too, like maybe these more offensive weapons can make a difference for Zadina too, because it's not like we can deny that there's skill in that shot. We've seen him play a pretty good two-way game, even though the analytics don't really support it that much.
Yeah, that's huge where I tripped up. I think you were bringing up the JFresh rankings of like who had the best first line, who had the best second line. I mean, Zadina might really have some magic, leading a third or a fourth line, and being a skilled guy like that. So that's a great point there.
A while ago, where are we? Performance Art came aboard. He said hi. Johnny P, of course. Fabry had 20 goals a year is not a bad contract. He could turn out to be a great third liner. I don't know. I struggle with the Fabry stuff because I'm still like trying to fill out this roster. I want to give some of the kids a chance at it eventually, and we're going 3 years deep on this Fabry contract. So, do you try and move it when he's 26? And maybe somebody else has this thought.
Oh God, we can't start doing Fabry trade scenarios. We're already at an hour and 11.
All right. We got to get out of here. Tristan does throw out there. We'll kind of end it this way. I'm done with Fabry and Ernie. Johnny P. Ernie can kick rocks. Fabry could be a great third liner. And Tristan kind of okay. So right there, we've got plenty of third liners who aren't making $4+ million. That's very true. All right, performance art. Zadina gets a chance. He creates his own chances. Skill around him might get him more opportunity, but he's got plenty of chances. So he gets the chances, I think, is what Johnny's saying. Throw
it back up.
We need to see
I picked it up. So Zadina gets chances, and his skill is he creates his own. He creates his own chances, and then like if he had more skill around him, he might get more opportunity.
I think a part of that too is what Johnny's saying is that he's creating these chances, and then the guys he passes over to just suck. So as we keep adding depth to this roster, there's more opportunity for Zadina to actually connect on a good stick. Oh, and then Dan throwing out their new coach. That's who Mike was talking about with Uncle Fester, Lalonde. Or Lalonde.
Lalonde.
I'm going to get there. I still can't forget that I got yelled at on Twitter for not saying Lalonde. So anyway, Ben Chariot. No. All right, we got to sail off. Mike, you said we got to go. I can hear my kids still running around. It's 8:40. So I got to go put that.
Yeah, we'll talk about Steve Weiserman on our next episode.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this complete shamble of an episode where there's almost nothing to talk about. And hey, you know what? We've got like 2 more months of this. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and we're officially going to Traverse City is, I believe, outside of our budget. So we are committing, though, Mike, I'll tell you this right now. We will be at the home opener. So if you guys want to comment and tell us a good bar, maybe we could do a little Red Wings Rant meetup. That would be fun. Or if you guys want to go downtown, let's set it up. Maybe we'll do it by votes over the next few weeks and see how many responses we get. But we hope to see you guys there. Of course, DraftKings, use promo code THPN, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday or Wednesday. It seems to work. All right. See you later, guys.
Peace.